Hey Life Circles family and friends, this is Chris, your friendly rec therapist from the Life Circles Pace Holland location, here to do another DIY Wednesday project with you. Today we are going to be making styrofoam print / stamps, and I'm here to first introduce several of the items and their cost, and then we'll get started. So first things first, we are going to need styrofoam trays or plates. We got these at the Dollar Tree for $1.06, 30 count, so you can do this project several times. Then we just need either a very dull pencil or a ballpoint pen. Household items didn't cost me anything. Next we will need either markers or paint. There's two ways that you could do this. So I'm going to be doing the markers way, and my wife, yes I said wife, Morgan is going to be doing the paint way. And so these were about $3 from Walmart, and a 6 count of neon paint was about $8 from Hobby Lobby. If you do the paint route, you will also need some foam rollers that we also got from Hobby Lobby, which for 4 count we got for $6. So relatively inexpensive for something that is relatively quick and simple and pretty fun. So give me a minute to set up and get Morgan all set up as well, and we'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. As you probably remember from our last DIY video, this is my now wife, Morgan. So as you can see, we kind of got our stuff set up. So we're just gonna get started. So first things first, what you'll need to do is choose your design. So if you do a word, phrase, or saying, if you will, what you'll have to do is write the word or saying backwards on your tray, okay? So it'll show up on here that I did it correctly, but I had already written it out backwards. So basically, you're gonna do everything that you were not taught and write Merry from the right side over, and then Christmas from the right side over. Okay, so I just did this, it's like a stencil basically, just to kind of get a rough idea of how I wanted to make it look. And then Morgan used her pencil and did a cute little drawing. So basically we haven't done the right step just yet, we just use this as a stencil. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take our pen or our pencil, and we're actually going to make an indentation of the letters or the drawing, but do not puncture the styrofoam. So you're gonna go just pretty gently all the way through your project, but do not puncture through the styrofoam. So basically what you're just trying to do is make a indentation of your letters or your drawing. So you can go as fast or slow with this as necessary. This is good to get your creativity juices flowing. It's good for hand dexterity purposes, fine motor skills. All that good stuff is coming into play with just this simple little DIY project. How's yours coming along, Morgan?
It's getting there.
Solid.
You can feel the grooves.
Yeah. To know if you're doing it right, you can literally just touch it and you'll feel that there's an indentation there.
I feel like I used to do this on my cafeteria tray in elementary school.
Oh.
With my fork.
It's a good thing we're all old enough to not be doing that. Almost done. Perfect. So now Morgan's is nice and indented, mine is nice and indented. So we're ready to go for the next step. So now that you've drawn it out, the next step is to basically identify what colors you're going to use. Again, if you remember, Morgan's going to be utilizing paint and I'm going to be utilizing the markers. So you can choose as many or as little markers as you want, or paints as you want. So I'm going to probably choose red and green, do the stereotypical two colors of Christmas. And Morgan is going to do...
Splatter all the paint everywhere.
Yeah, don't do that. Do your best not to splatter the paint if you decide to use the paint.
This is washable.
Washable. Always go with the washable. Cool, so it looks like Morgan has chosen yellow, pink, and blue. So I'm going to show you first basically just what you got to do with the markers, and then I'm going to have Morgan show how to do the paint, okay? So it's very simple. What I'm going to do is just I'm going to write a line right down the middle to separate what I'm going to be doing here, okay? So I'm going to take my marker and literally just go right across. Hopefully the feedback on the video isn't as obnoxious as the sound, but yeah. Nice and simple. So got my green all nice and colored in. Always make sure to put the cap tightly back on so they don't dry out. And do the exact same thing for the other side. And if they overlap a little bit, totally fine. I don't know why I put my pinky out like that. I just like to be fancy, I guess.
Because you don't want to touch that, or you'll get all over your hand.
Oh, good call, good call. Rec therapist right here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Again, put it on nice and tight. And then, I'm just gonna show you, you got your colors on there. So what I'm gonna use now is just a simple printer paper. I just cut it in half to fit the size of the styrofoam plate or tray. Nice and simple. And you can do this one of two ways. You can either lay this down and put the paper on top and smush it down. I wouldn't recommend it as much because you don't want to smush the actual tray since it's styrofoam. So what I would just suggest is putting the paper down and lining it up perfectly with the tray, and then you can press as hard as you want on the tray itself, making sure you're getting the indentation in there and those colors. And care partners, if you notice that your loved ones or those that you're helping out are getting a little bit tired, feel free to take a break. There's no problem with that. So after you push it down pretty good, it's time to reveal the final product. And as you can see, it says Merry Xmas. So there you go. I think I could have standed a little bit more indentation. I probably could have just used the pen a little bit more and pushed down a little bit harder on certain spots, but idea still remains the same. So you'll see the Merry Xmas on this one, and that's all you gotta do. And then you have a nice little decor for Christmas. So Morgan, if you want to show them the paint option, feel free to get going here.
So I took just another styrofoam tray, especially if you buy a pack of them, and I put my colors right on there so I can use my roller. And then for my paper, I'm actually going to be using a watercolor paper just because it's thicker, and then the paint won't bleed through, and your stencil will come out nice on there. So I'm also taking a foam roller. You could probably use a paintbrush just as well if you have those lying around the house. Just paint right over top as I would with a roller. So I'm just gonna roll my paint out onto my brush. Hopefully I have enough here. And I'm just gonna roll this right on top of my color. Oh, I definitely don't have enough.
That's okay. Part of rec therapy is adaptation, right? So
Definitely gonna need quite a bit of paint then.
yeah.
Just to do it nice and saturated on your tray.
Sounds good to me.
I'm also using very light colors. That probably doesn't make it any easier. Alright, let's see how this goes. So I'm just gently rolling right over top so I don't break my stencil. And I'm gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna line up my stencil right on top of the paper. And then do the same thing. Careful with the paint though, because it is gonna be more slippery than the markers. So you don't want it to slide around and smear your design. So I'm just using my fingertips to push down on it in different places.
Make sure you get those edges real good.
Alright.
Moment of truth.
Just gonna kind of peel it away here. And then very light, but the stencil comes back out on there as well. And what's nice with these, because it's styrofoam, if you're using washable markers or the washable paint, quick wipe on there and you can do a ton of different colors.
Yeah, just different colors, which is super nice. So yeah, that was our DIY Wednesday. Pretty simple project, a lot of fun. You can do it with family, friends, kids, you know, you name it, and it's a good time. So if you have any questions, just comment on the post, and I will be looking forward to any questions, comments, concerns you have for me, and we'll see you in the next DIY video. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye.